say, yeah, do you mind, yeah, why you tripping like that? You should get your eyes checked.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Deli, so go ahead and ring that bell, subscribe to me so you can react to what I see. So today we got 5 times Larry Bird was injured, but he refused to quit. Larry legend, the legend. Yeah, man. Now, I already heard a few stories. I already know about the one that I had originally missed in the Larry Bird Ultimate Highlights mixtape, where he broke his cheek and still got up, finished the game, won the game. You know what I mean? So I'm sure that's going to be in here, and then probably some other stuff. And even if not, I'll be fine, because that means it'll be 5 completely new things that I'll be learning about Larry. So that will be fantastic. Real quick, 2 things I want to very quickly address. Number 1 is the first one is kind of a joke, and the second one I'm being serious. First one. On that first video, or it might have actually been the Larry Bird all-time best passer of all time video, where I was talking about how I hate the Celtics, and I hate the Celtics because of the 08 Celtics that beat my Cavs, and a bunch of y'all was trolling me for that. And it's cool, rightfully so. It's sports talk. Go ahead, troll away. I really mean that. Go ahead. That is fine. And so my response to y'all trolling me about me hating the Celtics is, how you doing? How you doing? How about that? Nah, I'm just fucking with y'all. I ain't know. I mean, I'm not fucking with it. This is a Larry hat.
Stop the cap.
I mean, this is a Lakers hat, but I am just fucking with y'all in the sense of, like, I don't have beef with y'all about that. I'm not team hopping either. I'm not rocking this hat because LeBron plays for them. I mean, I actually am becoming a little bit more of a Lakers fan the more that I learn about them historically. Like, LeBron going to the Lakers didn't make me any bit of a Laker fan. Watching that Lakers docu-series that came out a few months ago on Hulu, and watching the whole history all the way from Jerry West to LeBron and everything in between, the Wilt days, the Magic days, the Shaq day, all of that, that made me have a little bit more of appreciation for the Lakers. I will say I am interested in seeing some kind of document or docu-series or something like that, some kind of, you know, Last Dance or something like that for the Lakers, especially for the Larry-led Boston. I mean, I'm sorry, for the Celtics, especially for the Larry-led Boston Celtics. I think that'd be very intriguing. And just from the arguments I've had with y'all in the comments, it's raised some a lot of y'all have raised some really good points. And I would like to comprehend the Celtics the same way I comprehend the Bulls, or the same, you know what I mean? So, like, it would I think that would be nice. Now, the one quick point of contention that I want to make with the Larry Bird fans, and not with the Larry Bird fans, I shouldn't even say it like that. Let me be very clear. With a few commenters on my videos in regards to Larry Bird, because a lot of y'all Larry Bird fans are great. If you came away from my video where I did not pick Larry Bird as the GOAT and got so mad at me for me being a black man, not picking a white man as the greatest of all time, that you called me a racist piece of shit, you need some help. You need some help. You're just as emotionally, if that's where immediately where you went, and I could see if I said some shit that had some kind of racial undertones in it, or but I didn't say nothing. I didn't even mention anything about Larry and being athletic, or not. I didn't even say none of that. Like, my reasons for why I didn't have him as GOAT was all in regard to what people did, what the people ahead of him did, and why I have them ranked there, not simply Larry is shit or Larry, you know. So, like, I don't understand where that came from. I don't understand what's wrong with y'all. Like, I mean, I have a little bit of a guess, but we ain't even gonna go into all that. The point is, if you think that me picking Jordan over Bird is because I'm a racist,
stop it. Get some help.
yeah. So, yeah, man. Liking different players doesn't make people racist. I don't know what to tell you. Now, for the other people who's calling me, you know, stupid or uninformed, or I need to go do my history, all this, that, and the third, whatever. That's all different shit. That's all different shit. That's normal sports talk, whatever. But I'm specifically talking to people who are calling me racist. 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 Get it together. All right. Now, I want to leave the bullshit down and we can move on. So, 5 times Larry Bird was injured, but he refused to quit. Without further ado, y'all, let's go ahead and hop into the video.
You know,
Green Mountain Dew for Larry too.
Fights through it and goes out there and plays, but he is not.
Again, I hate Celtics. I don't hate Larry Bird. I fucks with Larry, and I don't know what other color.
A healthy person right now.
I've never met an athlete that would play with pain the way he does, and an athlete that's so highly self-motivated as Larry Bird.
Wasn't, just to ask you guys, because I remember I was watching Player's Choice, and I heard Ticket bring up the fact that, and if you don't watch that or know who I'm talking about, then that's fine. The question is still relevant. Was talking about there was some conspiracy where Red Auerbach was stacking the deck, or he was doing some kind of unfair method in regards to his draft picks to stack the deck for the Celtics, that there's like a whole conspiracy about that. Is there any truth to that at all? Or was that just, and if you do watch Player's Choice and know who I'm talking about, then you'll get this. Or was that just Ticket trying to win an argument and scream over people? I don't know. I don't be knowing, because you never know with Ticket. Sometimes he's just saying something to try to win, and sometimes, like, nah, that actually makes sense. You know? So, gotta check when it comes to him. Yeah. Just was curious. Red Auerbach. Red Auerbach is who I'm talking about.
Bird. I think 4 or 5 years you'll think back about what he did, or you'll just, you know, you'll go, I think it's one of those things that as the years go by, it'll become bigger and bigger and bigger.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm back with a video where this time, once again, we have to talk about Larry Legend, one of my favorite players of all time. And I think even the most casual NBA fan knows that Larry Bird in his career was a very tough player, and he overcame tremendous adversity as well as injuries. And I wanted to make a very quick video explaining how tough Larry Bird was.
No, this isn't a knock on Larry. This is a knock on casual fans. Kind of talking about myself here. But, like, no, a lot of casual fans do not know that. A lot of us know that he was... a lot of casual fans know that Jordan never beat him. You know what I mean? And a lot of casual fans know that he was great. He was a big deal in the 80s, that him versus Magic was one of the greatest rivalries in sports history. You know, you don't have to be an NBA historian to know that shit. But to know how tough Larry really was, those stories have kind of gotten lost to time in regards to the media. It's not like they're not still there to go research, but you have to want to go research it. And that's not typically what casuals be on. Casuals are just, here's a narrative that you have. All right, I'm going to take that and I'm going to roll with that. You know? So, at least in my experience of debating with casuals, of being a casual, like, I'm kind of in transition from being a casual now, because I still don't I pay more attention and I think about more, but I still am not about to sit there and watch every NBA game on TV. Like, I'm just not, because a lot of times I just don't care. Like, so it is what it is. That's why I'm not trying to make this like a basketball reporting channel. I'm just simply doing my homework on history and giving my opinions on it as I see it, you know. That's all. But yeah, a lot of casual fans would be left out the loop for sure.
And just some of the big time injuries he overcame. So with that being said, let's get into the video and look at 5 times Larry Bird.
Hold on. Now that I got the point across, we can take this bullshit off. Told y'all I'm Cavs fan, all right? Cavs fan. I just wanted some get back. That's all. That's all. And we never lost the finals to the Lakers, so.
Bird overcame injuries and absolutely dominated. So the first injury we're going to look at is from 1979, before Larry Bird was even in the NBA. And this injury occurred in a friendly softball game with Larry Bird's brother as well as friends. And here's Jackie McMullen explain this very bizarre and peculiar injury.
Well, he shows up, and who's on the other team but his brother? So Larry's playing out in the outfield, and his brother hits this kind of spinning, looping ball, almost like a Tim Wakefield knuckleball. It's just spinning all over the place. And Larry tries to go down and make a basket catch, and his finger goes all the way back, and he's like, man, wow, it really hurts. And he looked down, and his finger was completely dislocated and mangled, and, you know, it really was bothering him. He had to stop playing right away. And so now remember, he's been drafted by the Celtics during this point, but he has not signed a contract yet. So his finger is in a bad way. He has to have major surgery with clips put in and pins and everything else. And he never tells the Celtics this has happened. But, you know, sooner or later they get word, and they summon him to Boston. And the trainer examines him and says, and the team doctor examines him, and they say to Red Auerbach, this guy's damaged goods. Now, Red's like, really? So he says, come on, Larry, get dressed. So Larry puts on his stuff. Red throws him the ball. He goes out. He starts shooting from all over the floor. He's hitting from everywhere. Throws him a few bounce passes, has him throws a few overhead passes, and he said, you look fine to me, kid. And Bird said, great. But Bird to this day will tell you he's never had the same feel for the basketball.
So obviously a pretty bad finger injury that affected Bird for the rest of his life. And around 2010, Larry Bird gave an interview and said this finger to this day is shaped like a boomerang at a 45-degree angle pointing toward his thumb. And he's had 2 surgeries that have failed to straighten it out. But I think the most intriguing thing in that clip is that Larry Bird himself said he never had the same feel for the basketball after this injury.
Which is crazy, because the way that he could still, look, damn just shooting. Damn just shooting. But the way that he could, and I did know that his finger was broke since the beginning of his career. I did know that. But, like, the fact that, like, shooting is one thing, sure. And yes, of course, your fingers are going to be important for that. But in addition, his passing, dog, his passing, then when you consider when a lot of those passes were just quick touch passes, that, like, it still takes a lot of strength and direction and accuracy. I talked about this when I was watching the, again, I don't know if it was the greatest passer of all time or the ultimate highlight mixtape video, but one of them, it showed some clips where he was on the ground and he made the pass while he was, it had to be greatest passer. He was on the ground and he made the pass while he was on the ground, and I was talking about, like, bro, think about how strong his fingers and forearms would have to be in order to accurately, with speed and power, toss the ball still 7-8 feet to the open teammate while he's on the ground. Just in case y'all couldn't hear me, so let me say that again. While he's on the ground. Like, who does that? Like, what the fuck? Like, nah, it's 100% unique, and definitely, hey, I couldn't do that shit. Look here. Look here, I break my shit, I'm going to go sit the fuck down. All right. If I was good enough to be in the finals or something, it was a big game like that, all right, cool. But nah, he just went for the next, 11, 12 years. It's like, fuck it, I'm gonna get this shit done. Like, But, and talking about you never had the same feel for the ball, but you could still do all of that shit. Mightily impressive. Mightily impressive.
And Bird, for his career already, was one of the best shooters of all time. He was the first player ever to win the 50-40-90 club, and he routinely shot over 90% from the line. But with that being said, Bird actually could have been a better shooter than he was in the NBA if it wasn't for that devastating finger injury. Now, next up on the Bird injury list, we go to his back, one of the worst injuries a player could ever have. And this injury for Bird occurred in 1985.
Wait, now somebody told me in the comments that he didn't even hurt his back playing basketball. He hurt his back shoveling snow out of his mom's driveway. And that's actually how he fucked it up. And I don't, listen, don't nobody need to tell me how important your back is. Look here. I'm 30 years old and I've been doing a work from home, sit here in the chair like this type of job for about 3 years now. I know how, and I'm not comparing that to playing basketball or to being Larry Bird. I'm giving context for why I can comprehend. I understand how the back pain affects everything. Everything. Look here. Oh, you can't see it. I had to buy one of them cheap ass little massagers and it barely do shit. You know what I mean? Like, and this is all I do is sit, and I be sitting here feeling like I can't. So running around, jumping. I mean, Larry wasn't a huge jumper, but still running around, jumping and dunking and all of this shit, blocking shots and grabbing rebounds and all this shit. Like, dog, that's again, Larry Legend. I see you, bruh. I see you. Because this shit's crazy.
In the middle of his prime. And here's his doctor, as well as a few commentators, talking about how tough Bird was and how difficult it was for him to even play a basketball game.
Right.
Larry had two jobs his last 7 years of playing. It was playing basketball, and then it was him being committed to taking care of his back.
He had first heard it in 1985, building the driveway at his mom's house back in French Lick.
Larry decides to do it himself. This is Larry Bird, the superstar, out there breaking his back, literally shoveling gravel. And that was the beginning of a process.
I would see him on TV laying down, and then they told me that he had to lay down on planes, different things like that. And I was like, wow.
As magic soared through the prime of his career, Bird was breaking down. His deteriorating back and punishing style of play proving an excruciating mix.
From 88 to 92, it was painful to watch. It was painful to cover. Larry is quite ornery when he's not feeling well, which means he was ornery for those next 4 years.
He could manage the pain in a way that very few people can do.
If you get paid to go to work, you got to go to work.
It was a situation that he was seeing almost daily. He had lost the structural stability in his spine, so it would slip into abnormal positions to try and lock itself to get an artificial stability. That's like getting your finger stuck in a door and somebody's still pushing on the door. So what we had to do was unlock his spine, realign it, do techniques that would hold that for 4 hours, 6 hours, that type of thing, and then he'd go play basketball.
So obviously that back injury was pretty devastating for Bird, and it kind of marked the end of his prime. But even with that being said, Bird in his last 7 seasons still put up tremendous stats, averaging 25.1 points per game, 9.3 boards.
25.1. I know he's going to say it, but I need to read it at my own pace. 25.1 points per game, 9.3 rebounds. Yo, 9.3 rebounds with a broken back is crazy. Like, the assist is one thing. You know, I mean, first off, doing anything, right? But with rebounds, like, it ain't but so many ways you can get a rebound other than leaping off of the fucking ground. And leaping off of the ground when you're already not the most athletic person, and then you got spinal injuries too, bruh, crazy, crazy, crazy. Again, couldn't have been me. Couldn't have been me. And it's not about being proud of that. Again, respect, bruh. Respect. 91. Yeah, I've been looking at his. Yeah, he was a hell of a shooter. There's definitely a case for Larry. There's a case to. I mean, I do still think it's Steph, but there's a case to argue that Larry was the greatest shooter of all time. Just like looking at the way. I still think Steph improved and he technically shoots better, but like it's kind of like Steph is just an anomaly. Like, and I'm not talking about overall being a better all-around player. I'm just talking about shooting. Just shooting. I wouldn't, well, no, I would trust Larry on defense before I trust Steph. Yeah, because Larry was definitely a good team defender. Not the best one-on-one defender, but he was a good team defender. Wait, and then what is that? Oh, okay. Yeah, see, and this is in the late 80s, and he was still shooting 39.4% from three. While he's at late 80s, meaning this is while he's hurt and he's shooting that percentage. Like, that's crazy. Now, who knows if, you know, the game were to evolve, like, or whatever, you put Larry in today's game with the fact of the pace being what it is now and, like, the pace being a little slower now than it was back in his days and, so, like, there wouldn't be as many possessions. But then on the same other time, like, so he wouldn't have as many opportunities to take a shot, but it wouldn't go down that much. But I do just wonder if in today's league, which would be more focused on shooting, Larry would be even that much more valuable because of his great shooting. I just wonder where his percentage would go, taking more and more shots every game, you know? So, but yeah, when I first got a comment about a month and a half ago about Larry being the greatest shooter of all time, I'm just like, no, he's not. Steph Curry. Why would you even say something like that? I still think it's Steph Curry, but I don't think it's crazy to say that anymore. Like, I think it's I still disagree kind of at the end, but like it's definitely a sane statement to make. Put it that way.
7.0 assists on near 50-40-90 splits. Those stats right there from an offensive perspective are still some of the best stats of all time. And once again show Bird could handle pain like few athletes ever. And one of the most remarkable things I've ever heard comes from Larry Bird's former teammate, that being Robert Parrish. According to Parrish, Larry Bird never took painkillers, pills, or any shots in his entire career. Bird simply toughed it out and showed mental toughness as well as physical toughness and played basketball at the highest level for 7 more years. Now, also one thing Larry Bird was known for in his career was being mentally tough. And here's a quick story from Kevin McHale talking about Larry Bird's mental toughness after being stuck down in an airport for 10 straight hours.
Back then when we flew commercial, we didn't fly private, we played in a Tuesday night game in Cleveland. And of course we got up for the first flight out. We had a game on Wednesday night in New Jersey. Snowstorm hits Cleveland. We're at the airport at 7 in the morning. Flight's canceled at 7. It's canceled at 8. It's canceled at 9. It's canceled at 10. Canceled at 11, 12. We finally leave about 1:30 or 2 in the afternoon. We fly up to New Jersey. Now the storm has kind of moved into Jersey. And the bus driver says, well, I can't get to the hotel into the arena, but I can only go to one place. Well, we had a game that night. We go to the arena. So we get to the arena, and I mean, we're dragging. And we're sitting on the locker room, and, you know, and everybody's kind of, you know, we're tired. And, you know, and all of a sudden, you know, the coach gives a little bit of a speech of, come on, man, guys, we're playing basketball. Let's get ready to go. And Larry stands up, and Larry says, a couple other few choice words, and he says, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to take it out on their rear ends. So I was like, oh, all right, so let's go. So we go on the floor. Elbert King sitting there. Larry walks up to Elbert King and goes, don't take this butt whooping personally. I've been eating hot dogs all day. And then Albert King looks at him like, you've been eating hot dogs all day? What's that got to do with me? And we went out and just hammered him. I mean, we terrorized him. And that was Larry. There was no excuses. I mean, he just played. And I tell you, that was just his competitive nature. But a day when you fly all day and eat hot dogs in the airport, best thing was Albert's look on his face like, what hot dogs got to do with me?
And that story from Kevin McHale, for the most part, is pretty comical, but I think it still shows Larry Bird had extreme mental toughness, and when it came to playing basketball, he would give it his best.
I mean, I would have taken that comment as, so you saying you sitting around just pigging out on hot dogs, yet you think your fat ass is about to get out on this court and whoop me. All right, come on, let's go. And then got fucking whooped. Like, wow. Fuck hot dogs have to do with me. You're about to get beat by a pig. That's what. Like, the fuck? Like, which, I don't mean that as insult to Larry. Like, yeah, dog. Like, yeah, if he's an athlete and just ate a bunch of hot dogs, he shouldn't be able to just go do that to you. I mean, not like you can be an athlete and be in good shape, just eat a few hot dogs and all of that goes away. I just mean that hot dogs are not, you know, a big source of nutrition to help you play with a high level of energy and all of that you need to compete at the high level that they played at. Like, that's all.
Every single night. And I actually went back to Larry Bird's game charts, and I found this game from 1986 on April 13th. In this game, Boston beat New Jersey by 28 points. Larry Bird had 26, 4, and 3 on 64% shooting, and he didn't miss a single three-pointer or a single free throw. And what makes it even more impressive to me is this game versus New Jersey was the last game of the season. Bird could have easily packed it in and waited for the playoffs, but still, he wanted to play this game for his teammates as well as his coaches. And that year in '86, Larry Bird didn't miss a single game, playing all 82. And if you compare that mindset from Bird to the modern day players, it's simply night and day.
Absolutely.
I pretty much guarantee you, any modern day superstar will 100% sit out that game and rest for the playoffs, but not Larry Bird. And when talking about Larry Bird in his prime, 1980 to '86, really before his big time injuries, he played 561 out of 574 games. He played all 82 games 3 times and over 36 minutes per game every single year. In 2 years, he actually led the NBA in minutes per game. So back in the day, Larry Bird, if he could walk, he was 100% suiting up and playing basketball. But the one time in Bird's career where he simply could not play was in 1989. This year, Larry Bird had severe bone spurs, he had what many people thought was a broken foot, and he had double Achilles surgery. And back in the day, an Achilles injury could possibly be the end of your career. But once again, not for
back in the day, it still is if your name doesn't happen to be Kevin Durant. Like
Larry Bird. As the following year, he had a very great and underrated season, averaging 24.3 points per game, 9.5 boards, 7.5 assists, while playing 75 games at 39.3 minutes per game, while leading the NBA in free throw percentage. So even after all those injuries, Larry Bird once again came back to all-star form, and he overcame double Achilles surgery. Now the last Bird injury we have is in 1991, and this injury is also the last great Larry Bird moment in the '91 playoffs versus the Indiana Pacers. And to kind of set the stage, in this series, Boston, they were heavily favored, but in games 1 through 4, Bird was not playing up to par, only averaging 18 points per game, 9 assists, 8 boards, on 37% shooting, and 11% from 3. And back in the day in the first round, it was a best-of-5 series, so Game 5 was a winner-take-all game. And near halftime of this game, Larry Bird would go down with a severe head injury, possibly a broken cheekbone, as well as a mild concussion.
Right here, the swipe knocks it free. Bird on the floor, then left hand keeps it alive, but he stays down for a long time. What effort by Larry Bird.
And Larry Bird is headed directly to the locker room for treatment.
But in typical Larry Bird fashion, he would tough it out and come back in the middle of the third quarter.
And here comes Larry Bird. But certainly this, out of the pages of Willis Reed. in Game 5 of the championship series involving the Knicks and the Lakers in 69-70.
And in this Game 5 in the Boston Garden, from that moment on, Larry Bird would dominate for the remaining 18 minutes of that game, having 17 points, 7 boards, and 5 assists, on 60% shooting, leading Boston to a 3-point win. And then Game 5 versus...
I'm sorry, did he just say he came back in the and dropped 17 in the fourth? I know I didn't hear that right. I know well, hell, I heard that right.
And in this Game 5 in the Boston Garden, from that moment on, Larry Bird would dominate for the remaining 18 minutes of that game, having 17 points, 7 boards, and 5 assists, on 60% shooting, leading Boston to a 3-point win. And then on the remaining 18 minutes of that game, having 17 points, 7 boards, and 5 assists, on
17, 7, and 5 in 18 minutes? That's a strong stat line today. He did that in technically 2 quarters with a
on 60% shooting, leading Boston to a 3-point win. And that Game 5 versus Indy is the last great Larry Bird moment as he overcame injury and dominated in that second half. So with that being said, that is the end of the video. Let me know your guys' thoughts. How tough do you think Larry Bird was? Is he the greatest trash talker of all time? And where do you rank him on your all-time list? Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time.
Damn. Yeah, man. Yeah, that was just as about just as impressive as I thought. Hold on, I gotta collect my thoughts after that one. Yeah, no, I definitely see why. Y'all, when I say y'all, the Larry Bird fandom, go so hard for him. Yeah, because I can't think of anybody else who... I can't think of a player of this caliber who... Because I was about to say, I can't think of anybody who had this many injuries and this, that, and well, Derrick Rose exists. But... I would definitely not put Derrick Rose on the same caliber as Larry Bird. So you know, any player of this at this level who was able to play through this kind of pain, like, that's crazy. I can't think about it. I definitely can't. I can't do that for LeBron. Like, Larry got it on that. Can't do that. Jordan. Not with saying injuries. You want to say play through pain, sure, but actual injuries, that's a little different. I only even know about Jordan being actually injured twice. Maybe I'm missing one. I know about him hurting his foot in his second year, and what did he hurt his ankle, or was it his knee? No, it was his knee. Yeah, he heard it. It was his knee was bad. 3 times. His knee being bad when he was on the Wizards, and then Ron Arrtist cracking his ribs in a pickup game. Yeah. So, but none of that is anywhere near as what I just read, as what I just heard. The only thing I could potentially kind of think of is Kobe. You know, because there's definitely, because what is it? Did Kobe tore his Achilles, and then he went back in, he still finished to shoot his free throws and made them. You know, I don't know, because I still have to really re-examine Kobe's career too. So we'll get to that, but that would be the only one that I could think of, again, on that level. I ain't talking about people in the 70s that was on cocaine and could just snort a line and, no, I'm good, yeah. whatever. We're not talking about that. All right, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about. Yeah, nah. Larry's nuts, man. That's. It takes a whole different level of determination and drive and perseverance to push through the levels of what he pushed through here to get past a broken cheek. Didn't even put nothing on it. Like, I mean, and I'm not. I ain't gonna lie. Part of my brain wants to kind of be a little skeptical about the idea that he never took anything for it, and I don't mean like doing drugs, but I mean like taking medicine for it. But also, I mean, I do comprehend that, you know, it wasn't the modern medicine that we have today, like especially with the history, the way the Celtics got of handling injuries. All right. So I mean, and when I say that, I'm talking about like Paul Pierce, I'm talking about Jason Tatum, I'm talking about that, not Larry, right? But I gained nothing but more respect for Larry, just more. I don't think I actually said this in a video. I just kind of said that he was 5 or 6, that he was between he was 6 at worst and 5 at best, and then left it at that. To be clear, so I can leave this, so I can just go ahead and get it out to the Larry fans. People I have him ranked above him is Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, Kobe. I'm really not even sure that I could even... Bill is just tough, man. He's tough to rank. He's tough to argue for. He's tough to argue against. Bill Russell, I'm talking about. Easily, you can go to the era's argument to discredit him. Obviously, you can look at, you know, the amount of rings and everything else that he accomplished. You know, it wasn't his choice what era he played in. He just so happened to play in that era. You know, so I don't. Yeah, it's definitely difficult to get an idea as far as it pertains to Bill. But with all the rest of the people that I have in front of him, minus LeBron, there's still things that I'm going back with them over with a fine tooth comb to kind of. Sorry, let me say that statement a little bit better. There's still details of their career that I really want to examine closely, and try to understand the context within the game of basketball as to why this or that was better. Now, as I said, most of these didn't add to anything as far as him actually being a basketball player, just more so respect as a person, as a human, as a man, as a competitor, except the one about him not being shaken about all the fucked up shit going on at the airport and all that, like, but just being like, bro, let's go take it out on these guys. Fuck what y'all talking about. We got basketball to play. Like, never shaken. Like that right there is, it goes to an intangible of how like hyper focused he could be on the goal at hand, you know. Even way at the end of the career, you know. I say this, I'm sure a lot of people are gonna give me the LeBron essays because I mentioned LeBron, and that's fine. Yeah, LeBron definitely doesn't do that. Like, once they locked in for the playoffs, that nigga start coasting until it's time for the playoffs. I know. I get it. You know. So yeah, no, that's definitely great that Larry. Yeah, Larry's damn near. I think he might be untouchable in that regard, as far as the toughness factor. I just don't want to confidently say that, because if I didn't know all of this, you know, there's got to be other things about NBA history that I don't know. But I highly doubt that I'm going to find somebody that put up with as much pain as he put up with and still accomplish the levels of things that he accomplished. There you go. That's the best way that I could say that. So, yeah, man, but let me know what y'all thought about this video. Of course, man, leave a like on the video, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you want to see me react to next. I'm thinking next in regards to Larry Bird, probably be, because I'm going to start to kind of shift towards Magic. I think probably after I watch the Making the GOAT case for Magic video, I think the next thing that I want to watch that incorporates Larry Bird is the Larry versus Magic documentary, and I might just like clip that up and kind of watch it in parts with y'all. So we'll see exactly how that goes. But if y'all think because as again, we've done, other than full games, we've done Larry Bird Ultimate Highlight Mixtape, Greatest Passer of All Time, Greatest Trash Talker of All Time, and now 5 times Larry Bird was injured but refused to quit. And then, of course, the Making the GOAT case for Larry. So those are the 5 Larry videos. I know that there's more than 5 fucking YouTube videos worth of stuff to learn about Larry, but outside of full games and the Larry versus Magic documentary, if there's anything else that y'all think I should check out, definitely let me know down in the comments below. I'll definitely appreciate that. But like I said, man, aside from that, if you appreciate videos like this, if you haven't seen any of those, make certain that you check out some of my Larry Bird videos that we got on the channel right over here. All right. But aside from that, y'all, just remember that it's your boy Deli Del. So ring that bell and subscribe to me so you can react to what I see. Peace, y'all.